Hey everyone, Ryan Nordahl here with Epic Whitetail Habitat LLC, coming to you today, the end of August here from the Proving Grounds here in beautiful west central Wisconsin. It's a gorgeous day out here, a little on the warm and humid side, but we got to get this work done. Hunting season's just right around the corner. We're getting very excited for it. Let me tell you, we've had some decent deer on camera this year here on the Proving Grounds and a couple of the other properties that we're hunting and belong to my family as well. But today I want to talk to you about mock scrapes, because that's what we're doing out here today, is we're getting our final mock scrapes prepped and ready to go. You know, they're in locations that relate to our hunting stand locations, especially this one right here. You can see the mock scrape vine that I have right here over my shoulder. Relates really well. We've got water here. We've got our stand location set up about 10 to 15 yards back up on the end of this point, blowing our scent out and over the hollow, no matter if it's a northwest wind to a southwest wind early in the season. It's blowing out over this hollow. It's a great morning stand setup because with the rising thermals in the morning and throughout the day, it's coming up through, especially on a northwest wind, coming up through that hollow, and the thermals are lifting our scent up and over. I've literally watched deer bed on another point about 80 yards from here, and they do not smell me. My wind is blowing in that direction, but with that hollow between us, those thermals are rising, blowing that scent up and over their noses. But again, we're in here, we're setting up these mock scrapes. Why is this such a good location? Why did I set this mock scrape here? Again, we've got the water as a draw. It's just enhancing it that much more, defining that movement that much more with that water. We've got the mock scrape. We've got our main travel corridor that comes up from behind me here. That's actually an old logging road. It is our access, but their main trail then extends down off of the logging road into this hollow to the north here. It'd be to the north and west of my stand location. Now, getting in around that bedding area down in that hollow in the bottom that relates close to the food plot that we have off the end of this point can be a little tricky. That's why I don't come into the stand very often in the evenings. If I'm going to sit here, this is a rut stand or a morning only stand in the early season. But we also have this main secondary travel corridor that travels east and west along the length of the ridge that runs through our property. That's why this mock scrape is here. The deer are already coming through here. We're just slowing them down with this mock scrape here. Extends back on this travel corridor, the deer can, and out to the neighbor's fields to the south. That is the only ag back here that is really located right next to our property. That's where the deer are headed off of our property in the evenings and coming back from in the mornings. We've enhanced this travel corridor with a few other scattered mock scrapes about 30-40 yards apart, just to slow their movement down as they're either heading out or coming back in the mornings. This scrape right here, this mock scrape vine, is one that I really love because every deer hits it eventually. I got the camera set up on it, and just about every deer on the property eventually hits this mock scrape throughout a week or however long I let that camera soak. Unfortunately, I don't have a cell cam on this scrape yet, so I do have to pull a card. Come hunting season, I'm only pulling that card when I do hunt, but that's mainly when I exit out of this stand as well. I don't want the deer to know that I'm here. But that's why this mock scrape is located here. Giving you all the little features of why. All these trails coming together right here. It's already a social point. Now we've enhanced it, garnished it that much more with water and the mock scrape. What else can we do to funnel these deer? We've really defined these deer here. We come in here a couple years ago and we did some hinge cutting on either side of the travel corridor to not only let light down to our seated main travel corridor, But to define that movement even more, these deer were able to escape through the smaller timber any which way they could. Now we are positioning the deer where we want them to funnel through here, in accordance to our stand location, which again is just over my left shoulder. Yes, we've utilized hinge cutting in here, but there's multiple things you can do. You can set up snow fence. I've seen it done before. I've actually made barricades by just picking up dead logs off of the ground. My good friend and part-time business partner utilized a barricade that we made just by simply taking the fallen logs that were on the ground of the property, making a barricade wall. It acted as a access screening for the gentleman who owns the property, and it defined the deer movement as well, where the hunter, the landowner, wanted those deer to be positioned to take the shot. But again, we're on to mock scrapes here today. There's other things you can do besides a vine. Vine is pretty abundant here on our property. That's why we utilize it. I've noticed traveling to northern Wisconsin, northern parts of Minnesota, northern Michigan, the UP of Michigan, northern parts of Vermont, and other areas where grapevine isn't prevalent. And what can we do in those areas? Well, along my travel corridors, I've just simply pulled down branches using paracord, tied those branches, tied that paracord back to the trunk of the tree, or I've even driven a stake in the ground and tied that paracord back to at least get the end of that branch in a deer's face. I've seen guys, and I've utilized it myself, where we've taken oak branches, tacked them to trees just using simple fence posts, or I should say fencing staples, I'm sorry. I have used fence posts as well, driven those fence posts into the ground, whether it's a steel T fence post with a type of branch hanger. I'm not going to name any brand names due to copyright purposes possibly, so I'm not going to name any specific brands of those. I've taken cedar fence posts, dug holes and got them in the ground, set up, and just tacked with fencing staples again on top of the post with that licking branch hanging down over, pointed in the direction of the stand, because in my experience, now this is my experience, a deer will always approach that licking branch from the side, and I want his head looking up into that licking branch, giving me just that split opportunity to draw my bow and fire the shot. That's all I need. It's worked for myself, it's worked for many clients. If you guys aren't using mock scrapes on your properties, even public ground, you can get away with it on public ground as well. I've done it before. It's worked wonders, and I think you should give it a try too. It doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to go out and buy expensive scents that 9 times out of 10 probably don't work. Now I said probably. I've used some in the past, and I will say that they have worked, but not all the time. What do I do to get a mock scrape going? What kind of scent do I use? Most of the time I don't use any scent, but a lot of times I'll just simply pee in the scrape. Your urine has the same chemical makeup as a deer's urine, and once the ammonia in your urine evaporates into the air 5, 10, 15 minutes after peeing on the ground, it's virtually the same. The deer cannot decipher whether it's human or another deer. So that's how we set up scrapes here on our property. I hope you found some great information in this video, found some value. Hit the like button, leave a comment, positive or negative. The negative comments don't bother me. It helps me learn, helps me to grow and bring better content to you, the viewers. Hit the subscribe button, click the notification button. That way every time I load up a new video, you get it immediately. Thanks guys. Share this video with your friends. I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to hopefully meeting you one day soon. Again, Ryan Nordahl, Epic Whitetail Habitat, LLC.